Hey friends, this is the first video that Jordan is joining me for. If you've watched any of the previous videos that I've done when we were in Thailand, you might have caught a glimpse of him, but now that I am taking a lot more time recording videos about relationship and polyamory, it seemed more than appropriate to join in on this endeavor together.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Yeah, I'm a little nervous, to be honest. Like, I'm a little shy in front of the camera, but I'm really excited to be a part of what Fawn is doing, like, in this particular medium. Yeah, I just think it's like an interesting experience for us to just share what's going on in our life with all of our friends and just people we don't even know. I think it'll be just like a growing experience for us to kind of reflect on the experiences we're having and kind of look at them from a broader perspective by trying to share it.
I know, like, pretty much everything that I have shared with all of you about our experience with polyamory so far has been pretty lighthearted and positive, and I'm
totally
happy.
Confident.
Very confident.
Just no problems.
And that's really because Jordan and I have been what some people might call poly in theory. We have experienced like deep emotional connections and like non-sexual intimacy, which I've talked about a lot with our friends, and that's a huge important aspect of how we practice polyamory.
And just how we live our lives. Like, that's just something we both need, is lots of really deep, intimate friendships.
Yeah. It was only recently that we both have had the opportunity to meet people that we could pursue in emotional, spiritual, and physically intimate ways. For the first time, I have to say that I'm questioning everything it is that I've been preaching for so long, and it's a really hard thing to admit. A lot of those thoughts that I'm having, I know, are directly because we are attempting to shift our paradigm.
We've had our experiences that have shown us, like, we have unconditional love for each other, and had those experiences that kind of really affirmed to each other that, you know, we're meant to be together for, you know, for a long time. And so now we're on the other end of the spectrum, being completely, you know, having those beliefs challenged. And this is where the real work, I think, begins. This is when we really start to transform.
To be more specific, Jordan has met a woman that he has a significant connection with, and so have I, and both of those connections are really wonderful things and really beautiful, but Jordan being physically intimate with another woman has triggered some of the deepest pain that I've ever felt in my entire life. And I'm at a crossroads where I have to decide if my physical body is communicating to me through the pain that I'm feeling and telling me that we might have to rework the relationship structure that we've had, that we agreed on. Or if this is something that I'm supposed to push through and and overcome. What's the most confusing to me is that there never has been any doubt that we're meant to be together. Like, I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I also don't believe that any person could change the connection we have, or any connection that we have with other people could even hold a candle to the fire that rages between us. But there is something really primal.
Yeah.
Really primal.
Yeah.
That's coming up for me. And I can't seem to dissect it.
I think a lot of times like to think of ourselves as very evolved and progressive and future-minded and, you know, idealistic, and it's times like these that we're reminded that we really are animals.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm learning a lesson about how our feelings are real and that they have validity, and there has been even more struggle on my part because I've been experiencing a lot of self-doubt and disappointment in the way that I've been so reactionary to this situation, instead of loving myself through it. I imagine myself handling this so much better and in a much more enlightened way, and I'm not.
But at the same time, I feel like you're learning to separate feelings from things that you actually believe deeply about our relationship, about love, about yourself. Like, you're being forced to distinguish the difference between a feeling that arises and like a belief that you hold.
At the same time, my feelings are so visceral and so powerful that they feel like they deserve, that they have just as much merit as my beliefs.
I feel so honored to be able to give you compassion when you're having these experiences that are so dark. And it's hard because everything in me wants to just make you feel better. But I know that you have to go through what you're feeling. And that's the hardest part for me, I think. And you know, feeling guilt around what I'm doing because I feel like I'm causing this hurt.
I wish that I could even put into words for everyone watching the grace in which you have shown me over the last few weeks, because to be honest, I have been the worst version of myself. You have been the gentlest, most loving, most compassionate that I could possibly ask for in this situation. I just keep falling more and more in love with you. I keep seeing all the ways that we are learning to be better lovers for each other, and how to care for each other. Even though I hate feeling what I'm feeling, I know that it's serving us.
Like, we've done tons of reading about this and this type of experience, but to feel it and go through it, like, it's
a
pretty
whole other
epic.
thing.
It's pretty. I think one other aspect is the fact that since the beginning, you know, of us even having the conversation about being together, we had the idea of being polyamorous, of exploring the openness of love and not needing to put any boundaries on it, and in that way, that's how our love grew, was the fact that we
were free.
We like let each other be as free as we wanted to be, and like gave each other freedom. Like, we allowed each other to be more emotionally free when we were with each other. Now that the whole kind of basis of our relationship structure is being questioned, it's hard to imagine making a decision like to be monogamous. Like it almost doesn't like register in my mind as like a reality.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, like even if we change like the rules or boundaries or, you know, whatever it is, however our relationship is modeled, we're still not going to be monogamous. I don't think we'll ever be monogamous. Like that, I don't think that's like really within our ability or desire of any sort. But what I'm struggling with most is the physical intimacy aspect of it. The reason why this has hit me so hard and why I have struggled so damn much with it is because I have just come along this whole way just like, yeah, we're poly and everything's great, and I'm so happy for him to, like, you know, be at parties and, you know, having wonderful conversations and kissing on his friends, and like that part of it's awesome. Like we have beautiful friends that we like to love on. But as soon as Jordan had a connection with someone and then was intimate with them, that changed everything for me.
Even though it was a desire that I've expressed throughout our whole relationship, it's been something I've communicated that is a desire of mine. And
I have encouraged it in the past.
And even fantasized about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. But I think that, you know, in those fantasies that I shared and in that encouraging, it was either because I didn't have a very strong libido, so I felt like, of course, you should pursue that outside of our relationship because I couldn't offer that to you at the time. And also, when it was fantasized about, I had a little bit more control in those situations in my mind. Like, I had expressed, like, oh, I'll go pick a woman out for you and say, you know, you should go take her home, you know? Like, I would have more control of the situation. I have no control in this situation at all. And I think part of that is what kills me the most. And, I mean, we've both known that I have control issues.
Part of me is just like, it's so good. Like, I know this is really, like, it's the hardest thing you ever had to do, but I also know that it's, like, whatever you're having to go through, it's, like, it's healthy, it's balanced, it's taking your idea of yourself and who you really are, where you really are, and bringing them closer together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is, you know, I would have never known what my threshold was unless we had pushed ourselves here. The question is whether or not we will have to renegotiate what it is that our relationship is going to look like.
And we kind of already are.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not, like, dead set on what my desires are and not gonna, you know, not gonna waver from that at all. Like, I'm, you know, more than willing to work with that threshold of yours and work with you on, like, what do you feel comfortable with, and I know that it's not about being comfortable. Like, we're going to have to go through discomfort and stuff like that, but I just want so badly for this to be our experience of me exploring somebody else, like that, to be shared between us, and I think that's the most important part. It's beautiful because we get to experience, like, loss, like, experience the experience of loss, that ego death experience of just, you know, total disconnection from security while still being encased in love. You know, you get to experience almost like what it would be like to leave me without having to actually leave me. Yeah. And I think that's really beautiful. The connection that we have is so beyond time and space, so cosmic, that it's almost impossible for there to be any seed of doubt planted. But
the reality is that life is unpredictable. It's chaos, and
we do have egos. Like, that's the nature of this life, is we have two separate egos.
And we're ever changing as humans.
And we're gonna die.
Yep. So even if we do make it to the end, we will probably have to experience one of the other of us dying. And I want to share that cannabis has been really therapeutic in our connecting with one another in this time and communicating with one another. And we had a moment the other night after a long day of hashing things out and feeling so tired from crying and just struggling through that. And then we smoked a bowl, and I had this breakthrough where I realized that my deepest fear is that Jordan won't be there when I pass on to the next realm, and he just makes me braver and more courageous than I ever have been. And when I die and I go into the unknown, like, I don't want to be with anybody else. During that moment when we were stoned together, though, I had to face the reality of Jordan dying, or me dying, or our relationship ending, and that's definitely my biggest fear. Those moments are therapeutic and, like, have felt like super blissful afterwards, with those realizations and overcoming those feelings have felt incredibly blissful. And that's what's kind of crazy, is that we hit these super low lows, like some of the lowest lows that I've experienced in a really long time. But then afterwards, I just feel more in love and happier than I ever have, and that's really the only thing that's keeping me going. Thank you for walking with us on this journey and listening to our trials with an understanding and empathetic ear. I really hope that if you have any questions about our own personal experience with this type of relationship, that you'll reach out to us, or if you have any advice, hey, I'm welcome to it.
Yeah, let's let this start a conversation.
Yeah, that's more than anything, that's what I desire.
And let us to continue to attract this community that we're starting to attract of people kind of in the same path in life. So yeah, come at us. Don't be shy.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please click the button in the lower corner, and yeah, share the love with your friends if you know somebody who might need it, or keep it going. We're ever grateful for people who watch and want to join in on this with us. So thank you, as always. Take care.